Stephen A. Smith walked onto the set confident, composed, and completely unafraid to speak his mind.
I'd love to give you the opportunity to perhaps change your position on what you said.
I'm not changing a thing. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
During his recent appearance on The View, it quickly became clear the hosts expected to steer him into a narrow box. They tried more than once, but Stephen A. isn't easily cornered. He stayed calm, stood firm, and delivered his points with clarity and conviction, bringing a level-headed perspective to a conversation that desperately needed balance.
Once you let us go, once you let women and poor people go,
Okay.
what do you have?
I would say to you, Whoopi, and what I would say to anybody, focus on what's going to win.
That's exactly why today's segment deserves your full, undivided attention. This isn't something you casually let play in the background while scrolling your phone. It's one of those rare television moments where a real conversation breaks through the noise. The exchange forces viewers to slow down, listen carefully, and actually think about what's being said instead of relying on headlines or clipped sound bites. Whether you agree or disagree, it's the kind of discussion that rewards watching from start to finish.
I want to talk to you about the thing, my friend, and some things that you recently said. You know I like you, right? Okay, so you recently accused Senator Mark Kelly, a veteran, an astronaut, of crossing the line for participating in a video reminding troops that they can refuse to follow illegal orders.
Okay.
What Stephen A. said wasn't reckless, inflammatory, or over the top. In fact, his argument was grounded in a concern shared by many Americans across the political spectrum: the danger of pulling the U.S. military into partisan political battles. Over the years, public trust in numerous institutions has taken a hit, largely due to constant political infighting. Stephen A. warned that applying that same divisive pressure to the military could have serious consequences, undermining one of the few institutions that still commands broad respect and credibility.
Let's see some of what you said, my friend.
Sure.
You know better, Senator Kelly. You know better. How dare you do that? You could go to the House. You can draw up paperwork. You can try to start articles of impeachment if you think there's something illegal. I mean, damn, it ain't like y'all haven't done it before. You impeached the man twice. Where'd that get you? Got his behind back in the White House. Had you left him alone since 2020, maybe he wouldn't be back. You don't tell military men and women to ignore an order from the commander-in-chief. You don't do that.
That line shouldn't be crossed. While public confidence in agencies like intelligence services and the Justice Department has declined, the military still ranks among the most trusted institutions in the country. That credibility didn't happen by chance. Tossing around vague statements about service members refusing illegal orders without clearly defining what that means isn't courageous. It's irresponsible, creates uncertainty, and opens the door to confusion. The lawmakers involved never clarified their claims, making the moment feel more like a media stunt than serious leadership. And then Sunny Hostin attempted a pointed question, seemingly hoping Stephen A. would slip. Instead, it completely missed the mark.
Pete Hegseth said in 2016, I do think there have to be consequences for abject crimes. If you're doing something that is just completely unlawful and ruthless, then there is a consequence for that. That's why the military said it won't follow unlawful orders from their commander-in-chief. Now, given the fact that the secretary himself said that, I'd love to give you the opportunity to perhaps change your position on what you said.
I'm not changing a thing.
Okay.
I didn't stutter when I said it.
You want to stay loud and wrong?
Well, you could call it loud and wrong all you want to. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to mine.
That moment actually reinforced a point Stephen A. made earlier in the clip Sunny referenced. These individuals are elected officials, not online commentators chasing viral moments.
What I was talking about is military. What I did was get on the phone with family and friends who have served in the military. And I said, we're not civilians. This is not the court of law. You can be implicated for implying something if you are a former military member or you are a present military member. It wasn't what Mark Kelly said. It's the fact that he was a combat Navy pilot who served in the military who would tell folks, ignore an order when it could get
Ignore
them
an
in
order.
a
He
world.
did not say
I said
ignore.
illegal.
What he
I said illegal.
The moment the discussion turned into shouting about illegal orders, it exposed how deeply the conversation had drifted into groupthink. If action was truly the goal, Congress has formal tools available: hearings, investigations, and official oversight through the Pentagon's Inspector General. Those options exist for a reason. Instead, the situation was turned into a social media moment rather than a policy discussion. Then Whoopi Goldberg redirected the conversation, pressing Stephen A. on his criticism of how Democrats handled the last election. Let's break that down.
I know that you have very strong feelings about Democrats, but I do have this to say to you. It was important, I think, for Democrats to show that they stood with the LGBT community, that they stood with black women and women in general, because once you let us go, once you let women and poor people go, what do you have? And so I've listened to lots of people say, you know, that you didn't follow what was necessary. They did it the way they thought they could. It didn't work for them. They got it.
Whatever perspective Whoopi was approaching the issue from, it didn't seem to reflect how many everyday voters currently view the political landscape. For a growing number of Americans, especially those struggling with rising costs and economic uncertainty, there's a strong feeling that the Democratic Party shifted its focus away from low-income and working-class communities years ago. Instead of centering policy around wages, affordability, and job security, critics argue the party increasingly emphasizes priorities that feel distant from the daily concerns of ordinary people. That disconnect has left many voters feeling overlooked, unheard, and skeptical that their interests are still being represented.
See, respectfully, I don't like that. Let me explain.
That's okay.
Let me explain.
Just like you said to Sonny.
Let me explain.
He sure did say that to me.
Let me
We're going
explain.
to come back, but we have to take a break.
We have to take a break?
We have to take a break.
When you come back, you can...
Today, critics argue the party is far more aligned with wealthy donors and elite interests than with everyday workers. The most recent election cycle highlighted that shift. Without donor pressure, President Biden may not have stepped aside. Afterward, those same donors poured enormous resources into Kamala Harris's campaign, over $1 billion by most estimates. Reports even showed her campaign spending far more than Trump's. But Stephen A.'s disagreement with Whoopi wasn't just about money. When the show returned from break, he made his reasoning unmistakably clear.
You were about to disagree.
I was disagreeing with this. As a Democrat, the bottom line is this. When we talk about poor people, who ain't thinking about poor people? Democratic Party, I know I do. I know that most candidates within the Democratic Party that I know they think about poor folks. I know they think about the desolate and the disenfranchised. I get that. But what I'm saying is that during the campaign, were you doing what it takes to win? You had too many people going after him for stuff that wasn't going to stick. It wasn't going to influence his voters. So what I would say to you, Whoopi, and what I would say to anybody that doesn't want J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio or somebody like that to succeed him, focus on what's going to win.
Beyond funding, Stephen A. also called out what he sees as inconsistent messaging from Democratic leaders. This isn't new. Take Kamala Harris as an example. She was tasked with addressing border issues during the Biden administration. Yet once immigration became a central campaign issue, her public stance shifted dramatically toward tougher enforcement.
That's where my sports background comes in. Tell me what's gonna win. I don't want to hear, but I understand the LGBTQ community is important. I understand that the desolate and disenfranchised is somebody we should always be looking out for. I understand the economy, I understand immigration, I get all of that. But the point is, I'm trying to win to make sure that I'm in office and you're not. What is it going to take? The Democrats did not do that last time. And that's what happened.
That said, leaning too heavily on Stephen A.'s sports analyst credentials comes with its own irony. He's had his share of high-profile misses over the years, including several incorrect NBA Finals predictions. That streak finally ended in 2017 when he picked the Warriors, coincidentally the same year they added Kevin Durant and formed one of the most dominant teams ever assembled. Still, during his final response, the panel leaned fully into the spectacle, amplifying the theatrics instead of grounding the discussion.
The winning issue now.
Affordability and safety.
Yes.
Period. Affordability and safety in the streets of the United
all
States.
those groups.
And
It does.
a willingness to cross the aisle and show that you're willing to work with people to get stuff done so we don't have this chaos just because we disagree.
I think that the Democrats try harder than the Republicans to do that.
Well,
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about
That leads to the bigger contradiction. How can someone argue public safety is the top concern while supporting criminal justice policies critics say contributed to the very problems being discussed? That tension captures what The View often becomes: a show built around sharp sound bites rather than detailed policy understanding. Too often, volume replaces substance. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you found this breakdown useful, hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.